everybody, Jim Sinacropi here. Welcome to another edition of FLX Weekly here on FingerLakes1.com on the final day of June 2021. It's the last Wednesday of the month. That means Wine Wednesday with Katherine Chase in studio, Executive Director, as you know, of the Cayuga Lake Wine Trail, along with this week Seneca Lake Wine Trail Executive Director Brittany Gibson and Finger Lakes Wine Alliance Executive Director Kyle and Pallischeck. And I'm filling in for Sydney, who's currently in the Dominican Republic getting married. So I wonder if it's hotter here or there. But for all you Finger Lakes wine lovers, we're going to be talking about a new collaborative effort between the four major wine trails here in the Finger Lakes. Finger Lakes Wine Month, and that's going to be coming up in August. So we're going to talk all about that. Going to be a great episode. It's Wednesday morning, and that means Katherine Chase is here. Welcome back, Katherine. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing good. I think it is hotter in here than Punta Cana, I imagine.
In the studio right now, right?
In the studio.
Right.
So it is a special Wine Wednesday for us. I have my cohorts, Brittany and Kyle, with me, us. We're going to talk about a special promotion that came out of Kyle's brain. But we are also sipping a bubbly, because it's never too early to have bubbly. It's a new release from Montezuma Winery. It's a Tremonat Cuvée. Tremonat, as we mentioned, I think last month, it's a Finger Lakes grape, cross between Gewürztraminer, so it has those floral aromas, crisp, pear, lychee, did I say that right? And lemongrass. So, let me try it first.
Delicious.
It is delicious.
Cheers. It would be so good with OJ, too. I am going to let Kyle take it over because this was kind of her brainchild, and then she reached out to all of us, and we kind of birthed it.
Okay, but before we do that, I got to mention that the show is sponsored by...
Yeah, sure.
No, it's my fault. I don't normally host.
I'm in a different seat. There's so much going on.
See, Sydney's not here. Everything falls apart. But CV Designs is sponsoring this week's episode in downtown Seneca Falls, home of the CV Designs box featuring a special new Love Box Pride Edition. You'll learn more about that and browse Christine Van Duzen's curated summer collections for unique home decor and clothing items online at cvdesigns.com, or stop down and see her in downtown Seneca Falls. She's got amazing stuff going on.
Yeah, she does.
So
she's a hit on TikTok now too. She's got so much going on.
Yeah, no, she's social. She's very popular in social media, local, and that's how she drums up a lot of business. She does an amazing job. But shopcvdesigns.com. You can see it all for yourself.
Yep.
So now
I may do my thing. Well, I'm gonna let Kyle take over to start. I'll just repeat what I said. We used to do Riesling month, and so tell us about the transition from Riesling to just Finger Lakes wine.
Sure, yeah. So the progression has been kind of interesting. I actually joined the Wine Alliance with this job in January, and shortly after that realized that there needed to be something, one of the things I loved about this industry is the community and the aspect that we've, all worked together over the years. And we've had a number of different programs. Years ago, Finger Lakes Wine Month was actually something that the Wine Alliance did in collaboration with Finger Lakes Wine Country. And that was in May, and it's progressed into Riesling Month, which was in September, and there's been a couple different iterations. And so where it really started was I reached out to Brittany, because we actually knew each other from back when she was at Fulkerson and I was at Fox Run. So again, sort of leading on the community that we've always known this region is well known for. And we had lunch at the Fox Run Cafe on their opening day. So April 1st is when this sort of actually got out there, so about 3 months ago.
Just not that anyone's counting.
Right, yeah. But I threw this idea at her, and I was just like, one of the questions that I've gotten when I started the new position was, what is the Finger Lakes Wine Alliance? What's the deal? We've got the Wine Trails, we've got Wine Country, we've got the Wine Alliance, all these different organizations. And so, recognizing that all of us have different markets that we're targeting with our marketing efforts, the Finger Lakes Wine Alliance actually targets specifically trade and media and not so much consumers, whereas the Wine Trails all focus on consumers and tourism, along with Wine Country. And then you've got the New York Wine and Grape Foundation that does all of New York State and kind of does a little bit of everything. And it just for me, it felt like a promotion like this needed to actually be something truly region-wide that was not exclusive to just marketing to consumers or just marketing to trade and media. And that the only way to do that was to ask all of these organizations to work together. So Brittany and I had a great lunch, and Scott Osborne from Fox Run joined us, and then he went away, and just Brittany and I sat there, I was like, so I might be crazy, but what do you think? And she was all in right from the get-go, and it was really exciting. So we emailed Katherine from the Cayuga Lake Wine Trail. We've got folks from both the Canandaigua and the Cayuga Lake Wine Trail. We've got Finger Lakes Wine Country and the New York Wine and Grape Foundation. So really all the major players that come into, marketing this region and looking to promote the visibility.
How hard was it to get everybody to come together? Because there's obviously some competition between these different groups, although we all benefit from being under the umbrella of the Finger Lakes
Wine.
Wine.
To use is frenemies.
Right.
Or co-opetition.
Right. Yeah, there you go.
Friendly competition.
Yeah.
But,
So, I think you'll find most of the wineries in this region will actually recognize that a rising tide raises all ships, and that marketing, if they were the only winery here, nobody would come see them. So the reason the region works so well is the wineries themselves. Back when the Farm Winery Act in 1976 was passed, it allowed wineries to actually sell their own wine and to create a reason for people to come visit the area. And back then, obviously the lakes were still here, but we didn't have a huge driving tourism industry.
No.
And a lot of that has become, or is what it is because of the wineries being here. So the wineries recognize that while, yes, they would like someone to spend dollars at their place instead of the next place down the road, there is a benefit to having that next place down the road. And the same thing with the trails. Anybody who visits the Finger Lakes knows that you're not going to make it to all the wineries in the region. We've got almost 150 wineries here.
Right.
So, and for me to be able to market to trade and media, folks that work in bottle shops and restaurants and things like that, obviously we all have, Rieslings and everybody wants to share that, but how do you share what all of these wineries have without working together? So and believe it or not, I think that, and this has probably become old hat to talk about now, but the good thing that's come out of the pandemic is that we've learned how to work in different environments. And so literally sending an email to everybody saying, hi, and most people I knew. I don't think Kathy and I had ever met in person, but I knew who she was. And, a lot of the people on the call were people I was familiar with from being in the industry for a few years. And I just said, hey, can we get together and have a Zoom meeting? And I'll throw this ridiculous idea out at you. And really had buy-in from everybody right away. It's a lot to do in 3 months to pull something together. And we're definitely, when Brittany and I sat that first day, the phrase that she used that resonated with me is crawl, walk, run. This first year for us is very much just an opportunity for the region to sort of show how we're reemerging from the pandemic. A lot of wineries have made significant changes in their hospitality programs and how they work. It is a little bit different these days. A lot of the places you're not going to walk in and belly up to the bar and just do a tasting. It's a much more service-oriented style.
Make an appointment.
What's that?
A lot of appointments now.
A lot of appointments, absolutely. So this is sort of our opportunity to sort of reintroduce ourselves to the world.
Yeah, great point.
And, next year, we've got some ideas, and we've got other ideas that we're thinking about for further down the road. So recognizing that it's something that, we're pulling it together pretty short notice this year, but it's going to be really great. And then I think we've got a lot of opportunity to build on it in the future.
So Brittany, when you guys had lunch and ideas started to get pitched, you are right in the kind of the middle. You got the two smaller lakes to your left in Canandaigua and Cayuga, and another big lake in Cayuga to your right, or to your east, I guess. And there's already so much going on your plates, especially coming out of the pandemic, kind of firing up all the annual events that all the wineries have. So what was your initial impression when she pitched the idea?
I love the idea. I'm a huge proponent of collaboration. And I think one of the things Kyle and I talked about was this allows each of our organizations to really do what we do best, but sort of all be advancing the same goal, right? I mean, Kathy and I really don't market to the trade and media at all. It's our jobs to really get consumers through the doors and talk to them, and we both are really good at that, but we just don't work in the trade and media or writer or influencer market as much. And Kyle does a lot of trade and media. Finger Lakes Wine Country works with a lot of influencers and writers and other people like that. So to me, it was a no-brainer because it allowed us to do something that was really galvanizing and collaborative for the region, but where we could each really shine and make sure we could do a really good job in sort of the lane we were in. So the way that I sort of look at collaboration is by metaphor of it's kind of like a superhighway. So we all kind of stay in our own lane, but we've all got our foot on the gas and we know what our final destination is. So that's, to me, it was just a no-brainer. That's why I said, whatever we need to do, the Seneca Lake Wine Trail's all over this.
Same with you, Katherine? Like you were like,
definitely.
This is a great idea?
It's helpful, too. We have different markets.
Very much.
So she's marketing to her market, I'm marketing to mine, but they're going to get awareness for all of it. So maybe they don't come see me this August, but maybe they come back in a couple of months to visit me.
Right.
So it has a really good long-term effect, more so than if we're just on our own.
Yeah.
And we were trying to collaborate before, everything kind of hit the fan, too.
Right.
And so this was a good way to jumpstart that. We do all have that same goal in mind. But then once we're here, we'll fight over them.
Well,
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And it's the same thing with a lot of towns here in the region that are competing for either economic development or tourism dollars, where nobody thinks, I think, when they're thinking of coming to the region that, I'm going to go to this wine trail or I'm going to go to this town. They're coming to the Finger Lakes. Mm-hmm. And we've all been on vacation. It's no big deal to drive an hour one way or another from your hotel or wherever you're staying to see the sites. So with all the historical sites we have, with all the natural wonders that we enjoy, and all the wineries and now breweries and cideries and distilleries, and there's just so much to do. You can't do it all at once. But personally, we hit up all the different wine trails. When me and my friends decide we're going to go out on a Saturday and do the wine trails, we'll always we go to all of them, but a different one each time, and then a restaurant usually. That's how we do it. But I couldn't imagine, only going to one. We like going west to Cayuga Lake, especially in the fall. And ending in Hammondsport and having dinner at the Union Block, and then of course, Cayuga Lake and Seneca Lake are very close to our home, so those we hit those up all. Last weekend we were at Billsboro, and a couple other wineries, and I brought home a dessert wine, which I never do. It was an apricot dessert wine from Billsboro. So yeah, we love it, and. That we're doing Finger Lakes wine, it only makes sense to do that, right? And hopefully garner some regional and even national attention to the great stuff that's going on here.
And the tourism is also one of the reasons why we felt like August would be a good time for this promotion to happen. Because like I said before, it was done in May, which, I'm partial to May. It's my birthday month. I think it's beautiful. It's green. Everything's growing again. But we don't have a high volume of tourism at that point. In September we did it before because that's usually when harvest is going on, which is really exciting. But it can also be very taxing on the tasting rooms because a lot of your staff has either gone back to college or the college students that have returned to the region haven't come back to work yet. Usually the tasting rooms are a little bit slower right after Labor Day, but it still is, it's a great time of year, but if we're doing it in August and we're taking advantage of the people that are actually here and asking them to celebrate Finger Lakes wine while they're here, because like you said, people that come and visit the region might stay in one town, but they're going to visit wineries on different lakes. They're going to go have dinner in a different town, maybe a 10-minute drive, maybe a half-hour drive. But it's taking advantage of that tourism component and the time of year as well.
I was thinking about that too when I saw you. It was August. As a resident, if I had to choose the perfect wine trail month, it would probably be September, maybe October. If you could take like September 15th to October 15th, and that was a month, I would go there.
Yep.
But when people come to our region, a lot of times they're escaping, the weather. Whether it's down in New York City in the summer, it can be really hot and oppressive, or you live in North Carolina, because a lot of people come up here for the whole summer.
True.
So I think it makes sense if we're going to make it a destination for an event that will attract people to the region, that August is perfect.
It also, on the trade and wholesale side, gets us out in front of, on their side, they think about OND, which is October, November, December.
Yes.
And if you're hitting the ground in August, it really plants the seed in their minds to really start thinking about Finger Lakes wines in particular for that really busy time of year.
For example, the Wine Alliance does a program we call Roadshow. It used to be Riesling Roadshow, and this year we're rebranding as Finger Lakes Roadshow. And it's with that purpose very explicitly. Actually, today's the last day to sign up for it. If you go to the Finger Lakes Wine Alliance our Instagram page, you find a link to it. But that's for trade, really on and off premise trade to participate, where they sit and learn about wines from 5 different wineries in 3 different sessions. It's virtual again this year. It used to be we'd go travel around to it. But it's really, showcasing current releases of, wineries in the region and helping to promote, end of year sales essentially. But back to the tourism thing, I've always strongly recommended people, if they really want a personal, very quiet interaction, Tuesdays in February are the best time to visit the Finger Lakes.
You have the whole place to yourself sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah, you might be the owner, winemaker. Right.
You might be the only person they see all day, so they're excited to keep you there.
They really need to talk to somebody.
Right?
Well, honestly, no matter whether I'm on the Cayuga Lake, Seneca Lake, wine trails, or even when it's busy, the staffs are at these wineries are generally great, and it's always fun. I'd say 9 out of 10 times we get a good server who's what do you call this person that serves the wine? Not a sommelier necessarily, but
all the wineries have
server,
different titles
pour,
for them.
yeah.
Server, pour, hospitality, associate, things like that. It depends on how they want to portray that.
They make the experience. They're the ones that these folks are talking about. So, and sometimes I feel like they're just reading a script, but then most of the time they're generally interested in educating you about what you're about to taste, and it goes a long way, because I love wine, but I'm no wine expert. So that's always interesting to me to hear, where the grapes came from, what makes them special about the way that they've made the wine, and generally it's great.
It's important that you're in an environment that makes you feel comfortable and enjoying the wine, and the person that's taking care of you should make you feel that way too.
And that's what's made the sit-down experience that much more special.
True.
Because you're getting that attention. There are some people who really just don't care about the details, but those that do are truly enjoying the new way of tastings, because they get that information, and when you learn about it, you appreciate it so much more, and you appreciate the price tag. If you thought it was high before, now you're like, wow, that aged for how many years? That's a really good deal, and it's education too.
Yeah, and a lot of when we go on the wine trails, I'm always hoping to bring back a few bottles, and so it's your treasure hunting in a way. And so you're doing your research when they're telling what they tell you about a certain wine. It's not just how it tastes, but the story behind it can incentivize you to take some bottles home. And so now FLXWineMonth.com is a website, right? What happens between now, June 30th, tomorrow's July 1st, and the start of Finger Lakes Wine Month on August 1st? How will things ramp up? Or what can somebody do if they're planning on coming?
Sure, no, it's a good question. The website at the moment, because like I said, this is we're 3 months into planning something that really should take closer to a year.
It's fine.
So the website is live. It's a landing page right now. So there is a spot where the people can enter their email address to be updated with news flashes and whatnot on what's happening. The rest of the site should be up in the next week or two, I think. We're working with some really great folks that are really coming through with very short deadlines to put this all together. But we do have social media pages. So we've got FLX Wine Month on both Instagram and Facebook. Brand new pages. They were created yesterday, so it'd be great if people wanted to go find them and like them. We will be doing on the website, there will be a calendar that's going to outline. So some wineries will have month-long promotions, perhaps specialty tasting flights, unique experiences, things like that. Some may be offering, a single day music event or a meal or something like that. So the calendar on the website will list all of the events of all the participating wineries, as long as they're sending us the information or filling the information out themselves. On the website, you'll also see eventually there's going to be a tab for Restaurant Week. So we're shooting for the 3rd week of the month to collaborate with restaurants around the region. So from Penn to Hammondsport, Watkins, Geneva, Seneca Falls, Ithaca, really within the region itself, Skinny Atlas, if there's any restaurants out there that want to work with us. It's going to be really great. So for that 3rd week, I know Brittany's already working with Kindred Fair in Geneva to do a wine dinner that features Seneca Lake Wine Trail wineries. I'm going to work with the Cayuga Lake Wine Trail to hopefully, because I live in Penn Yan, so hopefully find some place.
Union Block in Penn Yan too.
Yep, Union Block in Penn Yan.
You go there at all?
I do. It's so nice.
I got quick story. We always went to the Union Block in Hammondsport, and I loved it. And then we heard it open in Penn Yan, and honestly, I was thinking that, it can't be the same as Hammondsport, but it is. It's
different,
almost exactly.
but it's nice.
Yeah, just as good.
Yes, without a doubt. And they have outdoor seating right on the outlet too. So if you like to sit next to the water, there's an opportunity to do it there. Yeah, absolutely.
How did you guys weather the storms yesterday? I saw a lot of tree branches down in Penn Yan. We have a story up on Finger Lakes One.
Okay, I had heard that there was some wind damage down by the hospital, but I live, just on the east side of town. There's small hail, but nothing that I saw that would damage, at least from my perspective, vineyards.
Yeah,
in my area.
concern,
it's usually
right?
what I'm thinking about when I see that kind of thing. There was part of town I think that was out of power, but I had to go to a meeting in the middle of the torrential downpour, so I drove through it instead. But no, with Restaurant Week, we're hoping that there will be other restaurants that sign on to do maybe a prefix menu with a flight of wine. Working and featuring a wine dinner, particular wineries or certain varietals. There are some wineries that are actually planning dinners at their wineries for that week as well. So on the Restaurant Week page tab on the website, basically, all of that will be listed as well. It'll really just give folks an opportunity to use that as a point of reference for what's going on in the region. And we are ordering flags, so they're going to be 3x5 foot flags that say Finger Lakes Wine Month on them, and all of the participating wineries will have them flying. So that gives visitors an opportunity to know that if they're stopping at that winery, that they have some sort of promotion going on for the month.
Excellent.
It's a one-stop shop for August, pretty much.
Pretty much.
In the whole region.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some visitors are... they struggle to come here because it is such a large region.
Where do you start?
Yeah, where do I start? But this is kind of like, just start on one of these. This list.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think people realize that if you're coming for one day, you're not going to see more than 4 or 5 wineries. I think people think we're going to do the whole wine trail. We're going to hit it all.
That's cute.
Yeah, we drive around and not stop anywhere. Sure.
Right.
We tell people if you've got a weekend, that's great, but if you've got a week or longer, that's even better, because it just allows you to really take your time, especially anymore, like Kathy was saying, with seated tastings. It's just, you really need that extra time. So
and then come back and continue to build your portfolio of visited wineries.
Well, and going lake to lake and that sort of thing.
But what was I going to say? I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, I had a question for Brittany.
This wine is delicious, maybe? I don't know. It's very good.
It is good. It is good. What was it again? A Montezuma wine, Traminette Sparkling from Montezuma.
Yep.
I've never had a sparkling Traminette. Have you, Kyle?
No, I don't think I have.
They like to do unique stuff. So.
Well, that's the fun thing, too, about what's going on in the region with wine or beer or spirits or cider or,
anything.
Probably coming up next year, some marijuana products will be, it just all kind of fits in. Yeah. There is more experimentation and some different stuff, and some really cool stuff comes out of it.
Some are probably accidental, and it just turns out to be really good.
Some good accidents do result in something positive. It's true.
So, question for the 2 wine trail directors. When you started sharing this news of Finger Lakes Wine Month with your members, were the winery owners super excited, or were they like, okay, so now there's this other thing that we need to kind of adjust to? Like, what was the...
Some of them, I think it was a mix of both,
it was a mixed
maybe.
bag. Like,
but then, it kind of falls to us to sort of help them brainstorm. Like, you don't have to make this overly complicated. No. It could be as simple as, let's add in a cool new flight that's only available during Finger Lakes Wine Month. Or maybe you bring some wines out of your library that you really want to showcase, and you do
free
those.
shipping all month long.
Right. So it could be something really simple, and once they wrap their mind around that, they jumped right on. I know I was probably emailing Kyle too often. Like, we got another one. This one's in. This one's
exciting. Stuff going on.
Right. So it just naturally follows.
Tag this on to what you already have scheduled for August.
Yep.
Because some of them have already gone that far and scheduled their August events. And others are still kind of working on it.
Every winery right now is short-staffed. It's an hospitality industry-wide issue. Yes. So we don't want to tax them anymore. We're not asking them to, sit down and be creative and think outside the box a month ahead of time to create something. Yeah. And a lot of wineries are cash-strapped, even more so than in other years because of the pandemic. Last year really took a toll on the industry overall. Tasting rooms being shut down, pivoting to online sales, which were still successful, but, we didn't want to have something that was going to make the wineries uncomfortable and frustrated with us for pushing a promotion
Right.
Yeah.
on them.
Right.
So I think it's been well received so far.
And it's only year one, so
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great first step to
Yeah.
collaboration, I think. It's,
And I think it's-
collaboration is really important.
Super exciting for the residents of the Finger Lakes that like to frequent the wine trails, because we do have an opportunity to, on 4 consecutive weekends in the month of August to visit different spots of the Finger Lakes and different wine trails, and
branch out.
and we certainly will. I know I will.
Good.
Me and my friends will.
Oh, I know you
for
will.
sure. But looking forward, first weekend. It's 4th of July weekend coming
Oh,
up.
yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
And
The wineries will be busy, so
They will be
if
open.
they
That's a
want
big question we always
reservations, please make them.
yeah, certainly that's great advice. And how about the weather outlook for the holiday weekend? Coming off the hottest, most oppressive, weather we've had so far this summer, it is going to scale back a little bit. Friday, 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Partly sunny, high near 75. So that's
Ooh,
a
that
beautiful
sounds-
I'll take
number,
it. Yeah, I'll take
75. And I'm no meteorologist, but I'm going to say that the forecast says 50% chance of showers. I'm going to say that's going to be 30%. I've got a good feeling about that, gut feeling.
You feel it in your knees.
Yeah.
Do you have the lotto? Do you have a good feeling on the lotto?
Yeah.
No, just on weather.
Okay.
Just on
How
weather.
about a sports team?
Friday night, when you're ready to go to bed or hang out by the fire or whatever you're
With
doing
your
on
wine.
Friday night, low of 59.
All right.
Doesn't that
We
sound
can
refreshing?
open our windows.
Hoodies
Yeah.
by the lake. That's
Throw on
perfect.
a hoodie. That's right. And then Saturday, we got a great weekend on tap. Partly sunny, high near 77, just a 30% chance of rain, which means 70% chance of no rain. Saturday night, low around 60. And then Sunday, which is actually Independence Day, again, just a slight chance of showers. Otherwise, partly sunny, high near 78. And then Monday, a lot of people have Monday off for the holiday weekend. Partly sunny with a high near 83, 40% chance of showers. So it, to me,
great.
is looking pretty.
You'll be golfing all
pretty
the
good.
days, I'm sure.
Golfing, wine. We will visit wine trails at some point this weekend for sure. We will go out to dinner at least once. We will hang out by our pool, which is, I don't know if you've been following.
Yeah,
the
you were really
saga.
mad last month about the pool. I
Well,
don't
it's
know.
all set now. It's all set. It's great. The water's blue and
Cool. Don't-
everything's set. So
Don't
we're
tease
going
us
to do
right
that.
now. It's so
maybe.
warm in here.
So I got a lot of plans this weekend myself. It's going to be awesome. And usually we end the show by asking everybody what you have planned for the weekend. So Kyle, what?
Oh, I will be with my family at our cottage on Cayuga Lake. My
Oh,
extended
nice.
family. Yeah, very lucky.
Is that in Penn as well?
On East Bluff Drive. Yep, about 2 miles south of the college.
That's a beautiful spot, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah,
It's
so
so
you're
fun.
probably
I'm so
pretty
spoiled.
excited. Brittany, any plans?
I will be in my pool with my 2 boys and my husband for sure.
Nothing wrong with that.
I plan on going to Lodi Point at some point with my family as well.
Lodi Point, what's going on at Lodi Point?
It's just our favorite park. It has the most shoreline, so you're
Yeah.
not usually fighting for water space. Even though I live in Waterloo, I'll go down to Lodi just because there's more. And the playground is awesome, and there's just more water opportunities.
No, it should be perfect weather.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I want to thank everybody for coming in. And it's exciting Finger Lakes Wine Month. FLXWineMonth.com is the website, and hopefully we'll have you all back in your open invitation whenever you want to come back.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And Katherine, we know we'll see you next weekend. Our next
I'm like, what?
end of
Next month.
June, July.
Yeah.
It's getting
August,
hot. I'm getting a little.
July, I don't know
We're
what month it is
drinking.
now.
It's 95 degrees in here.
95 is putting it lightly.
So yeah, we'll see you in about 30 days.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Sydney will be back.
Yeah.
And thanks for joining us, everybody. If you like the show, please click like, share, and subscribe. Again, we'll be back next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Hope you have a great 4th of July weekend here in the Finger Lakes.